We in.
Hey, welcome to the World Drone Community Channel, guys. In this episode, we have Johnny and Robbie talking about the Nano. Now, we're talking about the Autel Evo Nano Plus. And so this is episode, we're going to be discussing this, guy. So, Robbie, how you doing? Johnny, how you
I'm
doing?
doing good.
Doing great, doing great. Thank y'all. Thank Robbie and Al.
So,
Is it cold down there?
cold now, man. It's
Johnny's got his hat on.
It was, yeah, it was. It was actually kind of cold today, so I had my hat on. I was out there flying a little while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, the hands is the worst part of flying, right? I mean, especially for flying FPVs.
It was 29 degrees this morning, so it was cold.
It was the chilly. Yeah, it's been.
What about you, Al? What's the temperature there? Because it's cold as crap where Al's at.
Oh my gosh, we're expecting a low of 22 or something. I can give you a big. Yeah, right now we're at 33 degrees and we're dropping to 25. So,
oh wow,
it'll be chilly. So, guys, you guys have been flying. Robbie, you've been flying both the Light and the Nano Plus from Autel Evo, right? Yep. And Johnny, you've had a chance to actually fly the Nano also. So
yeah,
I wanted to get a feeling of what are your experiences been like? Because as soon as you get the drone, just like most any electronic device that we get today, we have to update it, right? As soon as you get it, you got to update. No matter what it is, you got a phone, you got a watch, the list goes on and on. So what was the update process like for you, Robbie and Johnny, with the firmware?
What time? The first time or the third time?
Yeah, the very first time was it took probably about 20 minutes, I would say, maybe even a little bit longer.
I think took it out of the box.
It said 30 minutes, I believe, but I don't think it took 30, but it definitely took probably 20, 25 minutes to do that first update.
But you're a veteran of flying drones, Johnny, so that wasn't anything out of the ordinary, was it?
No, not at all. Not at all. When you get it, you're going to have those and just do what it says and follow through. And I've never had an Autel product. So, of course, I had to register with Autel and I'm trying to, I guess, play with the Sky app. I've never flown.
Well, hold that thought about the Sky app. And Robbie, what was your experience like with the firmware update? I mean, you've had
charge your controller fully, because as you're going through this firmware and you're watching your cell phone battery, and then you're watching your controller battery, and it'll get down. On mine, it got down to one light, and I was like, I'm gonna brick this thing because it's gonna stop. Charge your remote first. Make sure that it's fully charged, and read the information, because it charges on the bottom part here. It's not on the front part where your phone goes. And you'll plug it in and get a light, and you'll think it's charging. You got to plug it into the bottom and charge it. And so as long as you do that, you won't have any issues. But I was worried about running out of either cell phone or controller.
Johnny, you heard it from Robbie. You got to plug it from the bottom.
Yeah. I kind of figured that one out, I think. But it is and Robbie makes a good point, because charge that up, because it definitely, and we'll talk about that a little later. It seemed like it definitely goes through battery a little bit quicker than, say, the Mini 2 to me.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So what I'm hearing from both of you guys is that, it takes a little while. You guys are both, veterans at firmware updates. So, just be smart. Charge your stuff up, and then you do your upgrade, correct?
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that should be the case for every update you do. Make sure you have a full battery before you start. That way you don't chew your nails, or in Latin America, you pucker.
Yeah. One thing I'm going to say about the remote, and I forget, because I use smart controllers on my DJI drones, but this has evidently it's got a cooling fan in it. And Johnny, yes. I know you've seen it. There's
you'll hear
two vents here for the air to come out. I don't know if the standard controller, what is it, the NC whatever, the standard controller for the Mini 2 and the Air 2S, does it have fans in it also?
I don't think so, Al.
I never heard it, but you can hear this when you're doing your firmware update on this, and you got your green lights. I don't know if it's a safety feature because of the temperature or whatever, but Johnny, did you notice there's a warning beep now and then that'll come up?
Yes.
And if you'll touch any of the sticks, it'll go away. But it'll beep.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, and Al, me and you have both done this where we've left flying and thrown something in the bag, either a drone or the controller with a power on it, and we hear it in the bag. This will warn it. From what I can see, it warns you if it's on for too long. If
I
you're
think
flying
after so many standby minutes,
it'll
after so many standby minutes, it'll definitely beep. Because I did it the other night. I was just playing with the app and trying to just see some stuff, and I left it on. So
you know what it says to you when it's doing that? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, very good. So, all right, let's talk. Can we move on to the next subject? You guys okay with that? All right, that's good. So, what are the known issues? What are you guys hearing in the community out there? What are you guys experiencing? Johnny, what did you experience? Robbie, what did you experience? Like, SD card not working, camera tilting, horizon tilted, any quirky stuff. What do you guys have?
Well, I've never owned an Autel, so I was kind of excited about getting it, and I still am. I haven't really had any. I said known issues. I did have the SD card. When you would change battery and you had an SD card in it, obviously, and then you change batteries out, it would say no SD card. So you'd have to like turn the drone off, pop the SD card out, just push it right back in. Now, since the battery update, that was yesterday, Robbie, or the day before?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
The day before yesterday.
Yeah, so I didn't get that tonight when I flew. So I did one quick battery a few minutes ago, and just did a little quick flight. I put a little short video on YouTube.
Yeah,
so I did not get that issue, and at least tonight with the one battery.
So was that a known bug fix in the firmware up? Did you guys take a note of the?
I've seen actually Captain Drones said it in his video. I did see that. That was a known issue, yeah. And I don't know if anybody else. Robbie, did you experience that with the no SD card?
No.
You didn't? Okay, yeah.
No. When you got your drone, was there already an SD card in it?
No, it came with one though.
Yeah.
I mean,
yours was overpacked, not in the device itself. Got it.
Yeah, okay. Mine actually came in it, but I do know that I have heard a couple of people did have issues with when you go into the app with formatting the SD card in the drone.
Yes,
it's not working on some people's.
I think the update took care of that, so I formatted mine. Because I actually changed, I even changed SD cards. As a matter of fact, I got one sitting right here. I was formatting one in the Mac, but I was thinking that there was something to do with the format or something. So I changed cards, but you can format it in the drone as of last night. I did.
Okay.
So, any horizon tilt, any camera, settings issues?
Johnny. What about you?
Just a while ago when I flew. Now I did. I didn't recalibrate everything, so I'm not. I will say I took a flight out and did a little short. When I turned around to come back, I did have a little slight horizon, but I did bring it down, and I did a gimbal and a calibration. So I did everything. I didn't put it back up because I was kind of getting ready for the show and all. But yeah, I'll try that again. And that could be something, because anytime you have those firmware updates, it's good to recalibrate everything,
Yeah.
Now, I know I haven't really had the Jello problem at all. Now, I did
before the update. Before the update.
Now, I will say, Robbie, that was a mandatory update, the one we just done.
Right.
And I realized that I think I was out at the cemetery Friday, and I only did one battery. So, of course, last night when I put it in, I knew I had that other update. So I had one more battery to do. And I know I text you. I said, man, you got to do all three batteries, which that's not uncommon. But, the thing about that update is it didn't give any, what the update was for. It was just a mandatory.
Yeah, it's not like DJI where they tell you what it fixes.
Right. Yeah. They'll say, hey, your left stick now is your right stick, or you got to flush the toilet to start the drone. But hey,
you don't know if they're going to brick it for you, right?
Yeah. It didn't say. All it said mandatory. So what mandatory means. You got to do it.
You're in trouble,
man.
I
figured out yesterday when you put another battery in, and so then you get to thinking, well, hey, this is a battery update, not so much a. But
well, that's good, because we definitely need to have the firmware, and I forgot the term for it, but anyway, you have to have it all working in the same bundle, right? So you can't have them off because one will not communicate the same way. It might be using a different protocol in the firmware update. So that is good to know. Yeah, so Horizon looks good for you, Johnny, and you too, Robbie. So that is good to know.
I think the big thing about it so far, right? I mean, I'm not editor wise. I always tell people if you want to watch a good video, don't watch one of mine, because I don't see color too great and all, but I do know, when something looks pretty damn good, and then right out the box and right out the card, it looks really good. So the camera is what, 50 megapixels, I think, Robbie, we were just talking about.
50 megapixels compared to the Air 2, the Mini, which is only 12.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not even a fair comparison there. Of course, now, you can put anything on a box and it's got we talk about that all the time with Xeno and FEMI. Well, they put, but you got obstacle avoidance. You got a lot of, the active track features are not available yet. That will come through firmware, which they said it in parentheses, when you buy the drone, kind of like what DJI said, they're going to add some stuff with the Mavic 3, which they did. So, I'm waiting for that. And active track is not I don't think it would be a big thing for myself or Robbie, really. I mean, it's a great feature. And I don't think you'll be, trying to track yourself too much with this. But hey, it is a feature and they do advertise it. So, when that comes out with firmware, we'll get that tested too.
Yeah, that's awful nice to hear. And what I was going to do is I'm going to reply here to DeMarco. And
DeMarco's in the house. Chris Waters, I see. Yeah. Michael and Sergio got a great crowd. Captain Ray just finished his show, was listening to that, but while I was sitting here getting ready for this.
Hey,
so Robbie, I have on my share. You can share, and I have some of the specs. So some of the questions I had, and I'm sure a lot of people out in the audience will have also, is what are the difference between the Nano and the Nano Plus? And what did you receive, Robbie? Did you get the Plus or was it just the Nano?
I got the Plus.
Yes, and I have the Plus. You'll see the difference. I mean, the camera size.
And you can see the sensor difference right here, right?
And so that's where your money's at, yeah.
And you see your f-stop dropping to 1.9, right? So that's awful nice. But the flight time and everything else is the same, and we would expect that. So, yeah, with the Plus, it comes a little plus out of your wallet too. But you get that really nice sensor, transmission, everything else the same. And here's where we see just the Nano, which is a half-inch sensor with an f-stop of 2.8. And then if you scroll down, we should get, this is the active track that we're not getting right now.
Not
correct?
Yet, not as of yet, no.
So I want to ride that device that he has. Man,
that
airfoil right there. I got one coming for my boat, but it's got to be towed. It doesn't have the motor. So
I was going to say something on that f-stop with 2.8 on that. You realize that the Air 2S has a fixed lens with the same f-stop.
Yeah, of course. And so you were saying that currently, right now, you cannot adjust the aperture. Is that correct, Robbie?
It's got a 2.8, and that's it. Now, on the light version, this one you can adjust from the 2.8 to the f11. So the Plus, the Evo Light Plus, you can adjust the aperture, but on this one, it's you can't do it.
All right, so when you put it in manual mode and you drop it to like 100 ISO 100, it's definitely going to change it looks like here your f-stop. So you can definitely, so a little bit of difference too. Your field of view is only 1 degree difference, but the main difference is the CMOS sensor. That's a 1.1 over 1.28. So I wanted to just say that it's 1.28 inches. Okay. It's over an inch, right? And the other thing that you'll notice here is your focal range. This is a 0.5 meter difference too. So it can definitely focus in better. And they're talking about the 3 different kinds of focus mode that you can actually use. All right, so you got the manual focus here, and then you have the CDI automatic focus. I don't know what the difference between the P and the CD is. Anybody in the audience knows what the difference are? Let us know.
Yeah, I don't know that myself.
Okay, so you guys have it as I'm assigning some homework for you all. Just busted your chops, my friend. All right, so I don't see any other difference with the ISOs or anything else. Let's see if we can shoot in RAW, photo resolution, video formats. Here we go. And looks like DNG. So you're not going to be able to shoot in RAW. All you're going to be able to do is shoot either in MOV or MP4. Now, have you guys tried the Wi-Fi transfer rate? What are they talking about here? Are we Wi-Fi transfer?
You're supposed to be able to put your cell phone near it and I think transfer the images or something like that. I've not done that yet.
I haven't done that yet either. I mean, I've just been like downloading them because I did see that, but I didn't. I mean,
Mac, remember when the Mac came out with that, where you could take a picture on your Mac phone, it would put it up on your cloud for you automatically.
Right.
It's kind of the same way. So you're supposed to be able to get your phone near it, and it's supposed to transfer the images from the drone over to your mobile device.
All right, I've just given you 2 other bullet points for your videos, guys. So you got to find out what the different focus modes are and what is your transfer rate. So there you go. All right. Anything else that I see different here? I don't see anything else different, Robbie, that is worth mentioning, unless you guys see something.
I think, Robbie, one neat feature, when you record the video, you can record your audio. So that's a great.
Oh yeah, I like that. I do like that.
Yeah, because you can, if you're shooting a little short video, you don't have to sync up the material and all. So that's pretty neat feature, right there.
Yeah, that is nice.
Well,
it's got an audio file,
so people know that it's from this, not the drone.
Right.
When I first read that, I was like, "How the hell are you going to hear where the prop's going?"
Yeah.
So what Johnny's saying is, when you're flying and talking, instead of having to use your DU recorder, if you just use it for voice, it'll pick it up right here in the app if you just turn on sound. So when you're flying, you can talk.
But it does get quite noisy. So maybe a lapel mic. I don't have one, but I think that would work a lot better.
Yeah, I would think so too, because it's just going to be using your phone microphone.
Right. So it's picking up a lot of noise, but it's still very convenient to use.
Yeah, but like you said, if you have it switched on to a Bluetooth device, that would probably be the best thing to do, because then you put a windshield on it, whatever you want. So very nice. Okay, I am done with this spec sheet here, man. So I'm going to ask you guys a few more questions, Robbie, if you don't mind whacking that display or my screen. Okay. Or I could do it myself, actually. Stop screen. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, so how does it fly, Robbie? I mean, have you wide open throttle and kicked it?
I'll tell you, this one flies so much different. And let me give you guys a quick comparison too, because it's funny when we get these drones of people that don't have them, a lot of them are like, yeah, he just saying that because he got it and we ain't got it. Johnny, you get the same thing too. And it's not that, it's just these fly so different than the DJI products. And a good example is when you're going forward and backward and side to side on the Autel drones, they don't do like the DJIs and do this. They don't do that. They're pretty plain. And when I started flying the Light, which is a heavy drone, I noticed, kind of like when you watch an airplane take off, you see it get up to a certain point and you think, damn, it better pick up speed because it's going to drop. These fly like that. Like, you have to really pay attention because it looks like that you're losing lift. They just do not lift up and lift back when you're going a direction like the DJIs. They fly like plane.
They do. They fly more level, and I think that it's got a lot to do with the speed. If you watch a Mini 2, man, it'll kick up, and it gets up there pretty damn quick. especially in sport mode for sure.
The Air 2S does the same thing.
You can get you can get where you want to pretty damn quick. I'll say that with the
I agree because it just stands on its nose, right? And the other cool thing that I like to see, it's like stands on the nose. You let go of the stick, stand on its tail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the DJI, does
yeah,
it good.
and very good product, no doubt. So, all right, Johnny, how does it fly for you? I asked that question to Robbie.
It's been great so far. I'm having a lot of fun. I think we did have a little speed issue before maybe the first that last update, and it seemed today, I think I had it up to 27 miles an hour or so. And I really don't know what the top speed is advertised on. I really don't.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you to expand on that comment, and I think you did. That you said
it has
speed
3 modes.
issue.
It's smooth, normal, and ludicrous. Is that it, Robbie? I believe.
Yeah.
And on or sport is pretty good. And the smooth is pretty slow, really. Of course, it's meant to be.
Yeah, it is.
Now, if you try to come back, against I guess any kind of wind, you might take a little while. It seemed like, but still more testing. I've never had an Autel product, and when you first get it, I probably my first 2 batteries, I probably did more fidgeting with the app than I did flying because you're trying to get all your settings right, and you return to home, and you're doing your calibration. So
it makes sense.
And that's a good thing. Anytime you fly a drone, especially after updates, I would suggest doing a lot of to recalibrate everything.
So with that said, you did the compass calibration, and you probably did the IMU calibration.
I did. Yeah, I did the sticks. I just went through everything. It doesn't
good.
Doesn't take a lot of time.
With that said, okay, one of the first things I love to test when I get a brand new drone is, fly, 500 meters away, hit that return button on the mechanical return button on the controller, have it come back, see if it hits the target, have it go away again, and then hit the app, return to home. Have you had a chance to play with that, Robbie? I see you're shaking your head. So
it's both of these Autel drones are right on the money. It'll land exactly where it takes off from. Really, it's exactly where it takes off.
Yeah, so you've tried it one time, and it was off a little bit, but I mean, I just took off. I didn't have my landing pad. I just took off from the sidewalk, and but it's very
fair enough.
So far. I mean, I'm having fun. You know what? I've never owned an Autel, so I'm excited. And and people, the price point. I mean, here's the deal. It's got a bigger camera, so it's going to be more expensive than a Mini 2. It's kind of more or less on the Air 2 drone. Kind of more comparable to that, not the Air 2S.
Right.
But it's prices. We may not see really cheap drones too much anymore. Especially with a little bit bigger sensor.
Yeah, I kind of beg to differ on that one, Johnny. I'll have to disagree on that a little bit because the Air 2S has the 1-inch sensor, and obviously from looking at the specs on the Evo, it's showing a 1-inch sensor too. So
I said the Air 2, not the Air 2S.
Yeah. Well, the Air 2 does not have a 1-inch sensor. Right. It has a little bit bigger than a 1/2-inch sensor.
Right, which is similar to to this.
Well, that one's got. Oh, is your say 2.8 on the camera or 1.6?
2.8, huh?
Okay, yeah. Because for some reason I was confused. I thought you had the 1.6. But
no, that would be the
plus.
Yes, the Nano is that one. And Maddie I saw Maddie somebody put we talked about it a little bit, Robbie. I don't know anybody that had just a regular Nano that.
I didn't either. And in the Light also, I don't know anybody that just got the Light, not the Light Plus. And I heard that the Light's not even out yet. So I was like,
okay.
You would think they would come out with the basic and then the Plus. But, who knows what the difference is there. One thing I've noticed, this is considered a Mini only because of the weight.
Yeah.
And a good example is I've got an older brother that's into martial arts, and he used to go to the tournaments. His guys would always beat the other people. And I said, well, I don't understand. He said, well, I don't make money from selling ranks. Every time they get a new belt, they got to go to class and do their stuff, and they got to pay the $50 or $100 to get the next belt level. He said, so my blue belts are out there whooping purple belts because they have more training. Well, when they put this out, even though it's a Mini and it falls under that Mini range, It's got a bigger sensor on it. It's actually it's a bigger drone if you take away the weight issue with what it's got built into it. So we got to be fair about that, because when people say, they're so even, when I flew it the first time, like I said, I got jello going over the ocean, going into the wind. Turn around and come back, it wasn't there. And I was like, man,
yeah. So what does that mean? What does that tell you, Robbie?
Well, I was thinking, there's
the
a gimbal
motors.
issue.
The motors on the gimbal are not strong enough right now.
After the firmware, it's fixed.
And Maddie makes a good point. Yeah, it's going to have to be compared to the Mini 3. I think that's what, the Mini 3 will match up with this Nano Plus, pretty much, it'll have optical avoidance. It's going to have a little bit bigger camera. So yeah, I think that's going to be a fair when that does come out,
Believe it or not, it compares with this drone here, which is the Xeno Mini Pro, which actually has a pretty good sensor also. And we're talking about weight. I'm going to weigh this battery. I know you guys weighed your batteries and see how much it weighs. And we're just talking about
the shape
weight.
On this is so square. I told Johnny, I said, Johnny, the battery on the Mini 2's got to weigh more. This actually weighs more than the Mini 2 battery, because of the weight. I was like, where's the weight coming from? The drone or this? Of course, with the light, obviously the weight comes from the huge battery, but on this one, just because the shape was different.
How much does that one weigh, Robbie?
Johnny, what was it on this one? How many grams?
282, and then 280.
No, that's the whole. That's the whole
okay,
drone.
80. Man, I got it right here. Let me.
I mean, it was like a fraction more. The Nano was a fraction more than the Mini 2 was.
It's 80 grams for the Mini 2 and 82 for the Nano.
Okay.
All right. So it's 97 grams for the Xeno. And you said it was 82 for the Nano?
Yes. And 80 for the Mini 2 battery.
80 for the Mini 2?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to check out one of your favorite drone batteries, Robbie and Johnny. You guys recognize this battery? this
Yank
drone.
It out.
Oh, that's the Femi.
Yeah, your favorite, man.
The Femi.
That's
Lon Nor's favorite drone now.
Oh my
God! I
think
the Mini 3 will blow away the Nano Plus, guys. I know it will. DJI will make sure it will. Every time they come out with a drone, they up one another. Every person. I understand. In May, the rep here says in May the Mini 3 will come out.
Yeah, I believe that.
Weird to see.
Well, let me tell you how much this battery weighs. It weighs 82, which is exactly as the Nano that you guys have. So, well, let's talk about some of the differentiators between all the drones. Obviously, this. Where'd it go? This one here is kind of like the Nano because it's got front sensors, it's got back sensors, and it's got bottom sensors, right?
Yep.
Which is the Nano Plus also that you have. And come on, camera. You can do it. There we go. All right. So let's talk about the sensors, how they do and how do they fly. What's your experience with it, Robbie?
Well, there's none on the side.
Johnny. No, and that's where your automated features will crash you into the side of a building.
Yeah, the front, the bottom, and then the back has the sensors. Same way on the light version. The light version doesn't have any side avoidance on it. It's just got the front, the back, and the bottom, the same setup.
If I had to say something about it, it's very talkative. It definitely talks a lot. So and the sensors seem to work really well. I've actually turned them off while ago when I flew because if you get up and it reads from I think 30 feet or so, it's picking up those sensors a long way in the front.
Oh my God, 30 feet?
Yeah, so you gotta, as Mikey says, get up and out of here pretty quick to get all the beeping stopped. Of course, when you go in sport mode or ludicrous, whatever they call it, it definitely, that goes away. But it seems good.
Good.
It's a feature that, and listen, I think we all want features, but obstacle avoidance, I don't know if it's a big thing for me, but it's going to be on all the newer drones for sure. Now, I think that if it's on here under 250 grand, so it's going to,
Well, I can see it having its advantages, right, Johnny? If you're a novice or a beginner, it would be nice to have those things to
and I
kind of.
think we would say more crashes happen probably sideways than any other way.
Agreed.
Well, we can't see either. If you think about it, having the sensors in the back, if you go out somewhere, usually you're not going to get out and get close to something sideways because you can't see it through the camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'll go towards something when I start getting close, I'll turn around and my sensors can help me there and I can see myself so I can gauge the difference. But on the side, the thing is so thin, you can't see. Now I will go out and fly sideways out past something to start the recording and then come back.
Right.
Pan through. But yeah, so the sensors on the side aren't as important to me as the ones on the bottom, especially. You get over water and you need to drop down to a certain height, or with the Mavic 3 sensors on the bottom. We talked about this when Ron was on the show. I tried the master shots and got above a temple. The temple's got all this wood stuff hanging off the top of it. So when it went to do its shot, it got above it and came straight down. I was like, it's going to hit this building. But sure enough, that bottom sensor saw that piece of wood. I must have been 1.5 feet away from it before it stopped. I mean, I was on the stop button to keep it. So for me, having the sensors, of course, in the front, in the back, but it is a little annoying when you're like trying to fly over a rail, like on a bridge, or come in to an area that's got an upper and a lower piece of wood, like a gazebo or something. It'll definitely stop and warn you and keep pushing to get in through there.
Yeah, and I know Marcus had a problem. I think he said he got real close to his Tahoe, I believe, and it was actually not stopping. So I don't know, but I haven't talked to Marcus today. I don't know if he put up any videos. So and it could be anything. I mean, these drones are I'm not saying it's a quality issue. I mean, all drones maybe fly a little different. They shouldn't, but it's possible.
Yeah, agreed. And humans are making them, so
Oz Panorama says you can turn it off, and that's I turned it off a pretty good bit lately, and I probably only really flew I don't know 8 or 10 batteries, I guess.
Okay, well, good. So camera comparisons, obviously, to the rest of the Mini product line, and that includes the Mini SE from. All right, DJI has how many Minis? 3, right? SE, Mini, and the Mini 2.
Original Mini.
And the original Mini, so I guess 4 altogether.
Yep.
So now they're going to try to keep sucking the wind out of the room with the Mini 3, I suppose. I'm guessing it's going to be the $700 niche again. Kind of backfill the Air 2S a little bit. Maybe it's got to stay under the Air 2S. Otherwise, it's going to erode some of the Air 2.
Right. Yeah. I would agree. It's going to be. I'm thinking that Fly More is going to be probably $799. That's just me.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say somewhere between $550, $600 starting, and all the way up to mid $700s. I would think.
But if you think about it, what else can you put in this thing and stay under the weight?
You have to miniaturize a lot. Yeah. And if the battery technology continues to improve, then we can get more punch out of it. Because the only reason we're able to fly drones today is because the battery technology has gotten so good that we're able to pack such a large punch in such a small package. And we were just talking about how much punch we got out of these batteries, right? From 80 grams to 93 grams is what I'm showing. Yeah. So it just goes to show you how much energy we're able to store nowadays. So that's incredible to me.
Well, and we've talked a little bit pre-show. And I mean, listen, hey, I spent this drone with $950, so it's not cheap, but it does have a lot more features than the Mini 2 as of right now. And it's really not a fair comparison. I know Matty and I talked on the phone that night, and he's like, everybody's talking about, well, I mean, you want to compare, but it's like if you compare the Air 2S to the Mavic 3, well, it's 2 different drones.
Well, that's why I'm dying to get a hold of that Nano Plus, because it compares with this, which is like I said earlier, this is the Xeno Mini. That is probably a better comparison because of the price point and also the cameras and the flight time. So I think that's going to be a pretty interesting series. And I must admit, I'm putting this thing down for a couple months, and I need to get back on it because it's actually a freaking good flyer with a good camera. And, I do like how easily the DJI product deployed. It deploys so fast, so quick, and you don't have to wait too long before you're up in the air.
Well, I will say one thing, Robbie, I know you'll agree, but the remote control, the control of this drone is like superior. I mean, you could bust a window, like if you was trapped in your car, somebody said you could get out, by breaking the glass with this thing. It is very heavy.
I thought they filled it. I thought they filled it with lead or something on the inside to give it that balance weight until I heard the fans come on and realize there's something in here.
Oh, with that said, weigh that controller, Robbie. I'm going to weigh the controller for the Mini 2. And
I don't have my scale here. Johnny, can you weigh your controller?
All right, I'm going to weigh this controller right now, and this controller is 378 grams, and that is the Mini 2 controller. I said 378.
The texture they put on the controller here, and you can see the color difference where it looks like a matte finish here. Like on a socket wrench, how they press that.
411 grams.
Oh my gosh, not too far off from so that's the Nano Plus controller. So this controller is 378, and show your controller, Johnny, that's 411.
411, yeah.
411, 378. So, we're talking 23 grams difference, so it's not a whole lot of difference. Oh, I'm sorry, 33 grams difference, right? Yeah.
It feels good.
It does. It's a sports style control. I know my FPV. That's what I went with.
It's more like a gaming platform, right? If you were,
but you think it would feel hollow. You think it would feel hollow, like it's going to fly to your hand. And Johnny, I was telling Al, when they put the texture on this remote, it's kind of like they do on a socket wrench, so you won't slip. They press they stamp like a design in it, so you got something to grip. And they did the same thing with this. Yeah. I like the controller, and I wondered because I know that when I was going to try to get into the FPV, I'd asked Doc what controller to use. Maddie and them, they're like, get the Radio Master. And I saw some people using them like these, and I thought,
get the digital.
I could never use it. But you know what, man? It feels good. It's shaped good, so it fits in your hand good. It doesn't slide out like you think it would.
Right.
Yeah, I have to disagree with Doc on a lot of his analog stuff, only because he likes making his antennas, and I get it. And it's all about antennas with analog. But man, the digital signal is so much better.
Autel. I mean, listen. It's not a DJI, it's an Autel. So, sometimes I think we're very unfair to other drone companies, even FEMI, Hubsan. DJI can get away with, somebody today was going to get rid of their Mavic 3 because of some reason. So, you're the one that have to be happy with it, so fly it and try it and
review it and let us know because
I think that sometimes not all DJI. Listen, I've never had a problem with a DJI out the box. I mean, absolutely flies great and yes, but this is a totally different drone and it's what they advertise. Will they have firmware updates to make it better? Absolutely.
Good.
Let's give it a little time. I know, Al, you had the Evo. Did you have the original Evo?
I did not, but my neighbor did, and so I flew his a lot, and he got the Evo 2 also, but he now since sold him, and he sold his Phantom. I actually bought his Phantom V2.
Now, just Robbie, I don't know if I only had 3 batteries, but I guess I would say I'm not sure how many you would get out of here, but it does go down. I don't know. Probably seems like the Air 2S you can fly forever, or the Mini 2 you can fly forever.
I think you can do safely 2 batteries with
that.
that.
That's it.
You do more than that.
That's it. Oh my gosh.
No. I mean, I flew 3 and still had half. I would say.
Oh, okay. So you're talking 6.
I do 2.
I would say 6
I do 2 and recharge.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to say 2 batteries. That's not acceptable.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. So 6
batteries.
Mini 2,
the Mini 2, man, you seem like you could just. I don't know how many batteries you could do.
Well, it's the same with Air 2S, same controller,
same
right?
Thing,
So no, I get it. And that's one of the things that I was going to ask because, when I fly with my digital controller from DJI for the FPV, I have to recharge it about 12 batteries. After about 12 batteries, I have to. No, I'm sorry. I have to charge my goggles.
Okay.
My goggle batteries, but my controller is actually pretty good. All right, let's see what else. We talked about the camera. We talked about the front sensors. We talked about flies. We talked about the firmware. Some of them.
Now, one thing, and we didn't. And we'll talk. There is no place to put these damn sticks.
Oh, everybody's been cooking.
There is.
Hey,
I'm not gonna screw them in there because that's gonna waddle out. But
what you need to do is go to. I'll probably check out Thingiverse for you guys to see if anybody's put that out, anything out for it yet. Somebody's going to design something.
Well,
I think Dobo's put out something because he made a comment to QC Guy that he was going to send him something. So it might be something that he's going to make for this, which would be a great idea. But the thing is like, it's hard to see on the camera. There's a screw in that hole, but it's pretty deep in there. And the plastic is not threaded, but for some reason, the thread on this just gets tight enough when you firm it in that you can screw it in. And I'm sure over a period of time that it could fall out. I mean, it's in there tight.
If you put a male in there of metal and then put it, where you can screw this, you'd be.
Yeah, we talked about helicore before. If you screwed this in, and then put a helicore in it where it would be metal, it would do it. But I haven't. I haven't gone out and done it, but I probably will.
All right, Flyzone Drone is saying that this controller is 300. Where'd it go? 369 grams. What did I see? Autel Nano controller is 356 grams, Al. But you measured yours at 411, right?
411, yeah.
Yeah. So, is there a difference between the Autel Nano controller and the Nano Plus?
Did you have?
I don't think so.
The stick? Do you have the stick on it, Johnny?
I do have the sticks on, yes.
Okay, Flyzone probably pulled the measurement off of the net where it showed the weight of this. So with the sticks, it could be a weight.
I'll weigh it without the stick.
No, the sticks are only going to be a gram or two at the most, Johnny.
Hell, they're pretty heavy.
406.
Yeah, 5 grams. 5 gram difference. So, yeah, okay. I don't know where 356 is coming from, Mike. I'm sorry, but that's where we're getting real live.
Ross is saying the Light Plus is getting 35 minutes real time, and that's going to be the bigger drone. Now, Ross is actually, his wife is from Thailand, so he's spent a lot of time here, and I know he's got some property out near Pattaya, which is a pretty good ways where I'm at. But when he comes here next, we're definitely going to meet up and do some flying.
That sounds awesome. Looking forward to the videos. Hurry up and get that Nano review done, Robbie, so I can get a hold of it. You better hurry. Get your
Robbie, the Light Plus. I mean, you've been flying. The battery seems pretty good.
I'll tell you, it has so many better features and different stuff than the Air 2S has. Now, keep in mind, this is like a more expensive drone. This is more in the line of the Pro 2 when it first came out, because you're looking at about $1,600. I looked on Amazon, and they were getting I think they were getting $2,000 for this thing. Now I don't know where anybody.
So, Robbie, you were talking about the Mavic 2 Pro, not the Pro 2.
Right.
Mavic 2 Pro.
Right.
Got it.
Because it was like $1,600 to $1,800. So this is a lot more expensive than the Air 2S. And not meaning to switch too much talk on this one, but I think we've pretty much covered a lot of this.
Yeah, we can shift into that, Robbie.
The wind speed, just to give you an idea, and this is because of weight. The wind speed on this is where is it on here? 38 miles per hour. It's double what the Air 2S is. But keep in mind, a lot of that's weight too. So it'll handle double the wind speed.
It's all about the motors, believe it or not, Robbie. It's not necessarily, well, it's actually, you're right. It's weight because is the weight to power factor.
Yeah. So, there's some differences there. The Air 2S actually it says it's got a 6.2 mile radius, where this one has a 4.35 radius distance wise.
All right, so let's talk about what kind of FPV signal are you getting back to your phone? Are you looking at 1K or are you looking at 720p?
Well, it depends. Once you get past a certain distance on this one, it's 2.7.
Yeah.
So is that what you're seeing on your phone? No,
yes,
that's
what you're seeing on your phone. Now, only on your phone, only on your transmission, you're going to get whatever you record in. But once you get out past a certain distance, it's sending 720 to your cell phone.
Okay. So it's actually switching back and forth between 1K or you're saying 2.7 all the way down to 1K or 720?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean?
Yep.
Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Because I was just looking at the app here and it looked like, of course, this looks all doctored up and everything because it's marketing. It looks like they have a very clear phone picture, but once again, we're talking marketing.
The app, I love the Sky app. I mean,
I like it because it's different. I like it because it talks to you. Yeah. So on the DJI apps, shit flashes. Excuse my French there, but on this one, when something flashes, it'll tell you, what to do, what not to do. The issue that I ran into this one was we went out to a hotel up in the city. We had to get some stuff done, and Famika told me, she said, you should fly. And I said, well, I don't know the rule here. I said, so I got my license. I got my insurance. You just can't throw it up like in the U.S. as long as you're away from an airport. There's helo pads on a lot of these buildings. So I said, I better not fly. I don't want to take a chance. So I called my insurance guy and he said, you can fly over the water, stay away from the helo pads. He said, but be careful. And I said, I don't think I'll fly. So we're sitting there sunning in front of the pool and a Mavic 3 passes me out of the blue. And I looked up and there it was. And I told her, who's got a drone? So, that was like a tennis ball to your dog, Al. Just went crazy. So I walked around the corner and I saw this guy. And this guy's name is Kelvin NG. And I walked over and I said, you're flying? He goes, yeah. And I said, can we fly here? And he said, oh, yeah, it's not an issue. Just ask the manager guy over there. And yeah, he says it's okay. And you do have to you're supposed to ask permission here before you fly, which Al always taught me the theory. Don't ask for permission, beg for forgiveness. And you could always, here it's a little different. So I went over and asked, people went over and talked to the guy and said, my husband wants to fly the drone. What does he need to do? He said, just go ahead and fly. So here I am flying. He's flying. He's got his Mavic 3 up. I got my Mavic 3 up. And then I asked him, who'd you get your insurance through? He's like, insurance? What do you mean insurance? I was like, oh, my goodness. I said, you mean when you registered your drone, they didn't tell you that you needed insurance? He goes, what do you mean register your drone? I was like, oh, God, the blind lead the blind. So anyway, so we flew for a while. We did some drone talk, and he had 3 or 4 other guys with him. They joined our World Drone community. So it was nice to get out there and meet some other flyers. And he was talking, he said, do you have advice for new flyers? What do you recommend? I was explaining to him about the return to home feature is really, really important when you're flying in a populated area that's got tall buildings because, even though you might take off on the 4th or 10th floor, you've got your cap there. And I said, well, your cap here is 90 meters. He goes, oh, no, it's 300 meter. I was like, no, it's not. He goes, no, I just went up 300. I was like, no, I'm not saying the drone can't do it. I'm telling you that by law. You gotta do that. So here it's a little bit different because the geofencing on the DJI here doesn't stop you like it does, and you just continue to go up. I don't know how they do it with DJI. Same way here. This
talking about that. I have. Let's see. Share if you like. you can share this. This is the picture that supposedly the difference. So we're talking about the Light Plus here, and they're showing the HDR, which obviously the Air 2S has the HDR, and the Mavic 3 also has HDR. But they're showing it. One feature that I thought was interesting is this: they have a filter. This is actually pretty cool shots up in wherever it is, Antarctica or whatever.
Oh, wow.
But this caught my defog mode. It takes the fog out.
Yes, they do have a setting for that. Yeah.
Do you have that on the Nano Plus?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. And then they talk about cinematic shots, which is all the automated stuff, and they're talking about tracking and effortless editing. Have you tried this editor? Quick and Easy Movies it's called Movie Master.
I did try a little quick one. It's similar to what DJI has a little
the Master Shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they renamed Al. I think they renamed a lot of this stuff because I know these drones have they still have panoramic. They have the sphere where you can make the 360 sphere, and they've got one they call the wide angle, which is a wide view.
Yeah, and they have vertical, so they got a lot of features.
Yeah, it looked like it. And then we were talking about the Evo Plus video transmission is coming back at 2.7K at 30 frames a second, as Robbie mentioned. But Robbie's also saying that it's stepping down from the 2.730, and you can see the display here. It looks unbelievably
the
nice.
720.
Right, and so that's something that...
Yeah, you can see where it says defog right there. I don't know if you can see it, but...
You mean you're talking here? Or
in the app?
Yeah, in the app. I'm holding it up, yeah.
He's on the camera in the app.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't watching.
Yeah.
I see that.
I can see it.
Yeah.
So they I mean, it's a different kind of app. It's to me, it's very easy to operate. I mean, all I've really, I have flown the FEMI and the Xeno, but this app seems pretty cool.
Well, the other interesting thing too is that it's modulating its frequency from 2.4 all the way up to 5.8 gigahertz. Obviously, the 2.4 gigahertz are going to be for the long range flight. It'll be able to give you more punch through the trees versus the 5.8 frequency. So I wonder how many watts that transmitter is, the VTX from that craft is like. But yeah, that's a very interesting, frequency modulations here. So like I said, they're probably going to use the 2.4 at long range and 5.8 at close range.
Yeah.
The other interesting things that I noticed here, I mean, obviously one of the talking points everybody has, we're talking about the carbon arms, carbon fiber arms that look so neat. And the price point is, we're talking $1,350
with one battery.
And when you move to the premium bundle, it's $1,550. And if you move to the what in the world difference? Oh, the Light Plus, got it.
Right.
It's $1,650, and then
single battery.
Yeah.
I don't see the Light Plus in there having a single battery feature. I only saw on that ad that they've got the bundle pack only for $1,649. I think I paid right at $1,600 for mine, $1,550, $1,600 for mine. The only issue that I really found for mine that I take a little serious out of everything else that I've tested on it, and then Al, we've run into this sometimes before when we've flown a couple of the drones you've had, where we've had to go through and calibrate and position it. I have no problem with this, but this part here, there's been twice I couldn't even get it to calibrate. I just flew it anyway. I just couldn't get it to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Mavic 2 Pro had that issue at times. I know that when I was like, you remember we used to fly in that park right by VCU?
Because
Monroe
when I
Park?
when I flew at the hotel, it told me to calibrate, and I thought, okay, no problem. So I went to calibrate. It wouldn't do it. But as soon as I turned it on, it popped up and it said, stay 5 foot away from mechanical,
Any
magnetic
electronics,
structures.
yeah.
It said, please calibrate. So like I said, I had no problem doing it this way, but when I went to flip it over, so finally I was just like, well, crap. So when I flew, I always try to stay in distance until I know the firmwares are good on these drones, where if I have a mechanical issue, and as long as I've got my remote still connected, I can pull it over and at least crash it where I can retrieve the body.
Yeah,
You know?
I kind of like the nose here, Robbie, the way they put
Yeah.
the little bumper right here. And they put a little bumper on the front right there.
Yeah.
Is that different plastic or is the same material?
No, it's the same. It's the same thing. It actually, the face that you're seeing with the front sensors in it, and that piece actually locks into place on the front of the drone.
Yeah, I see that.
And I mean, the camera is really clear. I put out just a little clip yesterday of going over a pond, and the same thing with the Nano, that I was really shocked, because it's really hard to tell how good the quality is until you actually bring it up on the computer screen and see it. And when I brought the Nano Plus the first time and I looked at it, I was like, man, this camera is just too damn good for as lightweight as this thing is, because it came out crystal clear.
So, yeah, I mean, it looks like a super nice camera. So, is it worth the money, Robbie?
I'm not a mini guy, and you know that. I'm just not. I've had.
Well, I mean, it's expensive mini too, right?
Well, yeah, but see, keep in mind again, you only need to call it a mini because it's under the weight limit. Other than that, it's got some features built into this that bigger drones have. So we're only going to call it a mini because it fits under that ratio in the weight. So I don't know. I mean, for me, I've had a lot of people that ask about both the drones and are like, why would you spend the money on that with the DJI drones you have? What is the difference? Well, when you fly the same drone every day, it's like eating the same ice every day. You want something a little different. And a lot of people that don't have multiple drones are like, yeah, but how much difference? It's kind of like kids. You love your kids, but you love them for different reasons. Your drones are the same way. Like for me,
it's kind of like our friends.
Yeah, the Mavic. I mean, the Mavic 3 is probably, of course, the best drone that I own. And, I've got a couple extra drones here. But if I had to say I was going to go out and video or take a picture, what drone am I taking with me? Air 2S. The reason is I have experience with it. I know it's going to work. I know it does everything I want it to do. And I know everything about it. These other drones, you're waiting on firmware. So in all of these drones that we have now, I mean, every drone I have now is been released since the Air 2S. So they're all brand new drones.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a learning curve. Me and Al talked yesterday, and, I would like to see somebody do some videos on camera settings. Cause I've always heard people talk. And when me and Al started doing this, I said, me and Al are going to start World Drone Community. We're going to do this together. He's like, he's great to do it with. He's a camera guy. And I thought, but he's a drone guy. Now he knows a lot about the cameras. And I never really thought about the cameras that much because I've always flown in auto modes, always right out of the box. But now that I'm in areas where I have different subjects in different colors and different lights, where I'm using ND filters, I go back and say, wow, he does know a lot. And he does. And let me tell you,
thanks, Robbie.
No, seriously, because a lot of people think, oh, he knew cameras, so he knew this. Let me tell you something. You don't learn this from a side of a cereal box on what settings to put it on. You got to go out. You got to fly it. You got to bring it back. You got to put it on the computer. And I asked Al, I was like, Al, we've done ND filter tests before. And we go out and we'll film like 4 different ones. And I was like, Al, how do we know in the video which one the ND filter is? And he said, we keep our screen recorders on so we can look at the time and edit and say, hey, this was when we had the 32 on, or this is the 4. But when you're flying and you're changing your ISO and your aperture and all that, it takes time to learn it because, guys, anybody that flies and comes back and edits videos, we get a lot of video, but we have to cut out a lot of crap to get to the good stuff. Right. It does take a long time to learn how to really,
Robbie,
use
have you seen any ND filters for this yet? Or
not for this yet.
Not many accessories out there, is there?
Not,
I
hadn't really looked, but
it'll end up being like the Mini 2 though, and be a clip-on, because the camera on this one does not have any type of lip or anything to put a thread on. And you know how out on the Mini, how it's got the ones that clip over the actual whole camera here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'll be, when they come out, there'll be a clip over. Now on these, on the bigger cameras here, you can see it unscrews.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like, again, like the Air 2S and the Mavic
Yeah,
2
exactly. So
Pro.
yeah, to answer your question on that, I've not seen any of the ND filters. I mean, right now, because it's so new, I'm still waiting on the rep about getting some extra batteries for me and probably you too, if they don't have them there yet.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's
Robbie,
always the case. Yeah.
I'm looking at the. Sorry, Johnny, I
No, I
apologize.
said when new drones come out, it's if you do order that single, with one battery, you really, I know for the Mini 2, people are buying a Fly more and selling the batteries, because they were really hard to get for a long time.
When the
Well,
Air 2 first came out, when me and Al went and I got my Air 2, I bought it without, I didn't buy the Flymore pack. And Al said, buy the Flymore pack. And I went ahead and bought it without it. And then I was like, Al, it's not a problem. I'll just buy one battery here, one battery. There was no batteries.
Yeah.
They didn't sell that battery. They forced
yeah.
you to buy the Flymore pack, or you had to wait. And Al, I think we waited like 3 months before they even had
Yeah,
the batteries.
yep. On Autel pilot.com site, they're showing ND filters for
Okay.
the Evo 2. No, I misspoke, guys. That's just the Evo 2 and the
Yeah, I don't
Nano
think.
Plus.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't have.
sure.
Nope, I misspoke. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some out very soon.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we're running 8 minutes over, so any shameless promotions for next week, or what's going on with you, Johnny? You start first.
Yeah, just to continue to fly and keep testing this out, and then tomorrow, let's see, Wednesday night, the Fly for Fun show with Captain Ray and myself. We got the Lauren Downhour and Bill Renane. So tune us in.
Yeah, that sounds great. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button right now if you have not, because it's really important how many people have you had in it. You got to hit the like button, guys. So subscribe to the channel, guys. We're trying to get to 1,000. So we need you guys to subscribe. Once we get to
Absolutely.
1,000, we'll be able to monetize it if we have the watch hours. Robbie, your turn. What's up? Shameless promotion.
I'm gonna give a punch here to Australia Panoramas. This is Ross, and he actually has the light, and I think he's probably got the Nano too.
I think he does.
Usually when these drones come out, usually he gets them pretty quick also. So he's got a lot of insight, and he's a really good editor. So you guys subscribe to his channel. We've been communicating a lot because we kind of found out that we both have Thai wives. We both know this area, and we had a lot in common. So we kind of struck up a friendship there. And I see him on our live stream now. So go to subscribe to his channel because he's got a lot of knowledge on these drones and flying them, and especially the new ones. Right now it's me, Johnny, and a couple other ones have this one. There's not that many people out here that have these unless it's like Flight Path or somebody big. So, go out and subscribe to his channel. I know that he had COVID, but I think he's better now. So
yeah, I would say Sean at Air Photography did a great review of the Nano Plus. That was pretty cool. So yeah, go out and check that out. And I mean, I just did a little box opening. It's nothing special, but those guys are true reviewers. So yeah, it was good. It was very in depth, and I think he gave it I guess a good grade. He's going to fly some more and see. And like I said, there will continue to be some updates, and that's going to be exciting. And hey, I think it'll only get better. And I think Autel has the potential to now listen. There's still just a pimple on DJI. So let's not. They're not going to. Autel is not going to magically race by DJI with 4 drones. So guys, it's just a different drone.
All right, thanks, Johnny. So my turn for shameless promotion. Okay. 2 different 4-inch quads that I built this week. Well, I haven't finished this one yet. As you can see, I'm still
looks cool.
Attaching the motors. This one, they're both DJI Air units in them. So it's going to be testing these 2 different frames. That's going to be the videos of the week coming up. And my fun project is flying FPVs. And I do have a couple of the Xeno Mini Pro videos coming out also. But Robbie, Hurry up with that Nano Plus.
I know. It's funny. Last night, me and Al were talking, and he said, "Hurry up and get." And said that if we get off the phone, so we can look. And she goes,
I already have 5 videos already made, man. I just
Ross,
need the drone.
Ross is in the chat. Competition is good, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
You know what?
Because
it really is. And
absolutely.
I've been so close-minded about DJI. Anytime that we've asked people to join our Facebook group or something, a lot of people say the same thing. I'll join as long as it's not an all DJI, because every time I want to buy a drone, everybody says DJI. I hate recommending something that's a $39 drone because they fly like crap. The people never invest in the DJI because they're like, the $59 crap didn't run. I'm not going to pay $400 until you get a quality product and fly it to have something to know the difference between good and bad. Yeah. We lose those people that would normally be in the community for that. So I like what Autel's doing. The guys are pretty, I can't say exactly what my rep said, but we knew the Jello and other stuff was going to be fixed. I love the app. I'm learning new stuff. It's like, I
am so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So glad to hear it, because the Mini Pro flies real well too. It's comparable to the DJI product line on the Mini side.
Hey, and that's great for competition.
Yeah, but I need to tout that a little bit more, because I think there's a lot of people out there, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of the Lychee testing now that we got the new SDK out,
right?
That was released by DJI. So now we have the third-party developers, Harmony, and I forget the other one. God darn it. But anyway, they're out there. We have choices. So competition's good. Competition's good.
Yeah. One thing I want to say before we get off, guys, when we go through and we look in these Facebook groups and we see people flying around these castles and buildings, and, World Drone community is everywhere. So we get people from Ireland, Switzerland, Africa, all over the world doing stuff. Until I came here, I thought I knew how to fly the drone. I really did. And it's really funny because I'm not in Beverly Hills area where I can go around a beautiful hotel and everything looks all sparkly. I have to maybe go in and color grade something, which I'm trying to learn and do stuff. But I guess my point is, when you see these guys that are flying around stuff, have a lot of respect for where they're at. Because let me tell you one thing. When you think it's so easy to fly around something, let me explain something to you. Every time I've flown here around something or high, I've had like 30 different species of birds. I'm flying right at me, and they will avoid you, but it's like you're having to guess. Okay, is this going to be the aggressive group that's going to attack me? It is very hard to fly when you're running like hell from some of these birds. And me and Al have done it on the river. Remember, Al?
Oh, yeah. I had that blackbird going to try to eat my Mini.
Exactly. So when you see people doing this, understand, I've got a friend named Floris, Flris. And if you look him up on Instagram and look him up on YouTube, he flies on a particular island here in Thailand. And he told me, Robbie, get the good insurance for your drone. And I was like, why? My wife said nothing bad could happen. He goes, Robbie, an eagle grabbed my damn drone. And he said he let it go. He said, I didn't realize what happened until I checked the video. He said, all I saw was a claw grab it. The birds here are freaking aggressive. So every time I fly, I'm thinking, I'm not flying the Mavic 3 over this. The bird's going to get it. So just keep in mind, what you're seeing, there's a lot of work that goes into that. And it's a whole new issue of, it's kind of like you're fixing to crash. Get your seatbelt on. Get your seat. You don't have time for reaction. So take the time and watch these guys' videos. Look and see when they're cutting and editing, because you have no idea what some of these guys have to go through to get what little editing going around mountains and stuff. Dude, it ain't easy. It really isn't. And that's all I got to say.
Well, with that said, we had 16 thumbs up. No, 17 thumbs up. So good stuff, Robbie. Johnny?
Yeah, no, thank you guys. I appreciate it being on. And it was fun. Great drone. And hey, just keep have fun. Whatever you fly, just have fun flying. That's what it's mostly about. I think a lot of times everybody just, how much better can these things really get? And how much more can they pack in here? You know, I don't really know. I mean, I'm you know, so anyway.
A lot more is coming.
I want to see more software. I want to see more software. I mean, we got cameras that say 6K. They don't put out 6K. They put 5.4 out or something. I want to see better softwares. I don't care about doing editing on a phone or any of that. I want better softwares that gives me options that we can get by firmware. So,
all right. With that said, let's knock this thing off. We're 16 minutes overdue. So,
okay.
Robbie, I'll let you do the party.
Okay, y'all enjoy your night. My day is just starting. It's 8:16, 8:17. I'm waiting to go fly and fight like hell with the birds. We'll see y'all next Monday night.
All right, guys.
All right,
enjoy. Bye-bye.